The U.S. is a empire in decline. It's a dying empire, but the ruling class and their puppets in government don't want to be in that reality. They're not based in reality. They're not looking at they're not having a concrete analysis of the concrete conditions, as Lenin had said way back when. They are in denial, and instead of taking that into account and realizing that a multipolar world is being born, and instead of doing what China does and believes in and acts in the interest of win-win cooperation, for policies and philosophy that not only benefit China, but the countries and nations that they work with, let's say through the Belt and Road Initiative or BRICS, etc. The U.S. and the ruling elite and the U.S. government want to be the global dictator, and that's very much reflected in the Trump administration with his cabinet picks like Mike Waltz and Marco Rubio, who called China the U.S.'s most technologically advanced adversary. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. So Biden-Harris administration was pushing closer towards World War III via the proxy war in Ukraine, an attempt to try to weaken Russia. And then the Trump administration's pivot seems to be escalating this new Cold War with China, which China doesn't want. Again, they believe in win-win cooperation, things that benefit the people of China and then the people of that country that they're partnering with, and all these different policies and initiatives that they work with all kinds of different countries around the world. So Trump's, economic tariffs that they want to implement to try to, they could, it's going to backfire. It's not going to weaken China at all because of the amount of, imports percentage-wise that China sends to the U.S. isn't that much. They'll be fine, but it will have some pretty substantial negative impacts on the U.S. economy. So instead of being based in reality and realizing that it's a multipolar world now, and the U.S. is no longer the global hegemon able to dictate whatever it wants to whoever it wants, instead of being based in that reality, the empire is lashing out now against China, and then escalating tensions with supporting separatist movements in Taiwan, which international law since the 70s has recognized correctly that Taiwan is a part of China. Jesus fucking Christ. Living in the goddamn belly of the beast here in the U.S., where basically we're just a weapons manufacturer, and the material conditions for the people, the working class, I should say, in the U.S. continue to deteriorate. Massive amounts of homelessness because the housing is so unaffordable. Wages have stagnated. Minimum wage hasn't been raised in, I think, since maybe Obama or the Bush administration. We don't have universal health care. People are saddled sometimes with tens of thousands of student loan debt. Opioid epidemic, which I think in part is due to the material conditions of people getting to such a point that Just checking out, right, and using fentanyl or whatever it may be, just helps to cope with the fucking shitty society that we have here in the United States that has been forced upon us by a ruling class that is completely disconnected from the reality of the working people. So it's a dying empire. It's an empire in decline, but the ruling class, the elite, the owning class don't want to be based in that reality, and they're trying to stir up further tensions and escalate things with China, which no good for the working people in the US or globally is going to come for that. But all empires go away at some point, and the sooner the US empire does with its 800 military bases abroad, the better it will be for people all over the world and the working class in the United States.